What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Classic dropping a live car vlog. Hope you guys are having a great day. Nobody tells you, remember that God loves you, Christ loves you, and I love you as well. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day once again. Make sure you subscribe to the Take It Home podcast, where I talk about professional wrestling topics. I put up matches as Classic Alpha, and I interview wrestlers. I haven't interviewed a wrestler in a long time, but make sure you subscribe for the great wrestling content that is on this channel. I also want to say today, thank you guys, subscribers, watchers, believers in me, fans, whatever you want to call yourselves. I'll call y'all family. 1,600 subscribers on this channel today. So thank you guys for 1,600 subscribers. I was grateful when I had 16. I was grateful for when I had 160, and I'm grateful to have 1,600. Thank you guys. Thank you if you agree with the stuff or disagree. Thank you guys for the engagement. 1,600 subscribers. I don't take I was about to say serious. See, I got me messing up. I don't take lightly. I take it very serious. Like I said, it's hard to get subscribers. So for the content that I have, thank you guys for rocking with me. God bless you, Raphael. God bless you. God bless guys like Arshawn, Yella, Robert Brown, Sim. It's so many people. Thank y'all. Thank you guys for like rocking with me. Like I appreciate that. Mello, I appreciate it. Inya, appreciate y'all. Appreciate a lot of y'all. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling, which is what we are about to talk about. That is me and my wife's professional wrestling company. Last Wednesday, we had a show called Fright Night. It was with partnership with Countryside Nursing and Rehab and Royal Estates Assisted Living. They allowed us to use their venue to have a show for the residents and to the public, and it was in Dalton, Illinois. So very, very happy. The matches will be available next weekend. Monday, we'll drop Kenny 9 versus D'Angelo Steele, and then every other day have a match. It was only 3 matches. Now, if you do not want to listen to what I'm saying about the show, if you don't want any spoilers of my review, come back Friday. But now I'm going to speak about it and I'm going to review about it as well. All right, so basically it was a show. It was a free show to Dalton. That was also C3 Ultimate Wrestling's first show in Illinois. We've never did shows in Illinois. We usually do them in Indiana. So we were very excited to do a show in Illinois. And I also want to give thanks and gratitude to our referee, Pete. Also, the wrestlers who showed up, because some people called off, some people were off, or some people just came straight from work to the show. And it's on a Wednesday, so I'm grateful that these wrestlers, this family of mine, decided to help me put on a show and serve the community. I know many of them were tired, many of them were hungry, like asleep and stuff like that. They took a day off or whatever for it, just so they can show what C3 is about. So I'm going to always give them praise and adoration for that. And like I said, shout out to the staff of both spots and everything. Very, very dope. Lafayette in the building. What's up going on, Robert Brown? Everything doing great. So just reviewing the show that we had last Wednesday. So first match was the Unplugged Cyberpunk, Kenny 9 going against the former C3 Ultimate Wrestling Champion, the pretty psychopath D'Angelo Steele. Kenny, long story short, as far as like the friendship and brotherhood that we have, has basically been rocky ever since the 11th hour, which happened August 30th. It's been very, very rocky, you know. He said he could do stuff, you know. I've loved voicemails, you know. He's been walking around with a big chip on his shoulder, and you know, the more I think about it, the more I understand why he's like that, because some of the actions that I did at the show, and then even like things that could have been preventable on his behalf, you know, I let a lot of things happen. So, you know, I'm trying to talk to him, but he refuses to talk to me until the show. But anyway, going into it, I'm off to home basically. I'm probably go to the store. So basically, Kenny 9, you know, a lot of people been calling him like Crash Out Kenny. He called himself Crash Out Kenny in the match and stuff like that. So he's going against D'Angelo Steele. D'Angelo Steele, a great vet in the game. Like I said, you could call him a former champion, but that doesn't mean that he'll never be close to it again. That's just how he is. You know, he has the tools to be a multi-time champion, which he is in other companies and stuff like that. He's a multi-time champion in C3, you know, former tag champion, now former C3 Ultimate Wrestling champion. So definitely, yeah, it's Crash Out Kenny, I'm telling you. So very competitive between both of them. Still didn't like that Kenny was talking to him about the lack of a championship that he has and stuff like that. So basically it got intense real quick. D'Angelo still, when he gets into his mode of wrestling, I don't think that a lot of people can match his ring IQ, using every part of the ring, the canvas, the ropes, the turnbuckles. He's used everything to take off Kenny, and Kenny would fight back, and Kenny would be agile. He would do kicks, he would do strikes and things like that. He would get out of certain things, he would flip up and he would kip up, showing true athleticism Kenny can do. Like a star now, when he has the potential. I know he doesn't saying it now, probably doesn't want to hear me even talking about him, let alone his match, but it was very, very good. He did some great knee smashes to D'Angelo still. I know that Yella, the voice and sound of C3, he was calling it the Kenny. Now it's funny, but it does sound, I like Kenny. It sounds nice, you know. Aggressiveness from D'Angelo still would do. He did like 3 Germans. On almost every German, Kenny would try to fight out and get out of it, but still would not let go. And if he would let go, he just catch for a better position for a German. The things was just very, very great. And then Kenny was like, he would tell people when he was outside of the ring, yeah, it's about to be Crash Out Kenny. Y'all want to see Crash Out. So he was more aggressive here, but he became more of a hothead, and I think that he lost the eyes on the prize of not only just trying to just crash out, but he should have just crashed out more on D'Angelo Steele. So he gets to the ropes, D'Angelo Steele uses the referee, like I said, ring IQ, and knocks Kenny off the ropes. He knocks Kenny off the ropes, he hits him with the clothesline to the back of the head. 1, 2, 3. D'Angelo wins. He smiles. Like I said, a veteran in the game. I feel like if Kenny would have just focused more on the match instead of trying to prove a point, I think that he possibly could have won. He possibly could have won. It was very close at one point. So, still, Crown Jewel was, I'm going to say this too, sidebar, before I go back to C3. I only seen AJ Styles versus John Cena, which I was pretty, I liked it. And I also saw Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. I liked it. The only thing, you know, Seth and Cody won't have bad matches. I'm just sick of seeing it. And this also talks about, like, y'all need to do more with the main event scene. But we'll probably talk about that tomorrow. But going back into it, Kenny, you know, the referee was trying to help Kenny up, and then the referee, he kind of nudged the ref, like, get away from me. Kenny grabs the microphone and calls me out. He says, Classic Alpha, come out here. I'm trying to get ready for my match and everything and what's going on, and he calls me out and he says he's upset. He says he feels like I need to explain myself about certain things and certain actions and things like that, basically saying I'm the reason why he's doing Crash Out Kenny. So I try to talk to him. I'm like, you know, this is not the time to try to ask me questions and stuff like that. We have a show going on, you know. Should have answered the question. You should have answered the phone when I was trying to hit you up. I was trying to message you on Facebook, trying to hit you up and everything like that. I don't think in front of fans and stuff like that who want to see a wrestling show, I don't think that was the best thing to do. And he still hasn't talked to me. Even after that, that was 3 days ago. So it's like, man, don't wait until a platform to try to speak about the show, anything that's going on. Yeah, the finisher, that clothesline was just crazy. Oh, you're talking about, oh, I'm sorry, I was talking about C3 Arshawn. But yeah, see, y'all gonna make me go there. I don't wanna go there because I'll say this, even with Cena and AJ's match, I understand that wrestling is different now and they have their own things, but it's very nice to see Cena and AJ doing finishes from people that they faced. But they were kicking out of every one of them. RKOs, Angel's Wings, Coquina Clutches, didn't tap out to it. Skull Crushing Finales, Switching Musics, Draping DDTs, Choke Slams. Everybody was kicking out of finishes. I don't like that. I don't like that. Personally, I don't like that. Still, Kenny, like I said, if you are even listening to this live, if I talk to you, if I try to call, pick up the phone and stuff like that, man, you can't avoid, like, you telling me these people that you want to face, but you got to face reality. You got to talk to me, man. We got to talk. But still, going into it, second match, it was Miles Mercer, who is a tag champion, C3 Ultimate Wrestling tag champ, going against Gustavo, who's basically debuted at the 11th hour, versus Mr. Young, who apparently has still lost his mind. Like, he just walked in and was rubbing his head. I don't know if he hit his head again. I don't know what's going on. Like, he was just sitting here laughing and stuff. He was talking about looking for a cat named Bingo. It was just so confusing about what was going on with the situation. So, Miles Mercer came out. He was, like I said, he's been working out. He's been trying to, be different, trying to look different, trying to feel different and stuff like that. He's been working out. He's been showing triple threat action. Match starts. Miles is not playing. It's trying to not be nowhere near Mr. Young, and you would think that he would want to because of everything that Mr. Young has put him and the ARC through. But Mr. Young doesn't even seem like he's Mr. Young. He seems like he's somebody else. And honestly, when somebody is that unpredictable, you don't want to be around it. So I can understand that maybe that Miles Mercer was trying to take Mr. Young is necessary, but if Mr. Young is already taken out himself, what's the point? The man was biting the ring, he's biting the ring ropes, he was biting the zip ties, he was just biting everything. He's biting everything. He bit Gustavo. He was biting his opponents. Like, he was just doing anything, taking a bite out of crime. Mr. Young was definitely tripping. He was just like, well, phone reconnected. Should have checked for rabies. So yeah, sorry about that. My phone reconnected, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess when you think that you got a company, one of the fastest rise company, one of the greatest companies in the world, and then it gets taken away from you, I guess it's a laughing matter. But Gustavo, he was showing some things. He was trying to show like he had some intensity. He was trying to win the match and stuff like that. But the vet status of Miles Mercer and Mr. Young, when he checked in his mind for a little bit, I think it was a lot. Gustavo, he definitely was striking. He was definitely showing some stuff. He was actually showing things that he wanted to do. Then as soon as he seemed like he had the upper hand, either Mr. Young or Miles will cut him down and stuff like that. And I do know that he's new in the business and stuff like that. So I do know that the more he learns and understands, that's how a lot of these matches are. And that's why I get checked out of them. Like, people just be like, okay, well, this is the new wave of wrestling, but I don't have to wave back. You get what I'm saying? Going back to that, the matches, it was a point where Mercer had Gustavo, and then Mr. Young was like, hey, look, us, and basically was saying, hey, remember the past that they used to have together as the ARC. Then for some reason, they started tagging each other in and started mudhole stomping Gustavo, and I'm like, wow, that was crazy. And the crowd was even laughing at it because it's just like, what's going on? And then Mr. Young unsnapped. I'm not going to say snap back because he snapped back when he was that, and then he unsnapped. We call it a snapback hat or snapback and tattoo. But anyway, basically he unsnapped back, and then he struck Miles Mercer. And then it was just like Gustavo, he couldn't he did some splashes to him. He had him in the corner, he had him isolated. But then I just think that, I don't know, just trying to understand if these two people are working together or not was a little bit too much for Gustavo, to the point to where when Gustavo was about to do something, basically Miles Mercer was holding Gustavo, and when he was about to hit him with the zigzag, Mr. Young hit Gustavo with a spear. So basically Gustavo took a spear and a zigzag together, and Mercer pinned Gustavo, but then Mr. Young was just staring the whole time. And Mercer won the match. Mercer got out of there because, well, we don't know what's going on with Mr. Young. We don't know what's going on. I mean, even after the match, he started saying bingo and started spelling bingo. And he was like, have you seen my cat? I was like, dang, they got a cat named Bingo? Like, I don't know what's going on with Mr. Young and stuff like that. And I'll answer this. A lot of people are like, well, what is the board even still doing there? This show was signed through them and stuff like that, and through deals and all of that stuff. So that's why they were even there at this show because of that. So I just want to answer that too. I want to have a bit of clarity and stuff like that. You know, it's very still going through some legal things when it comes to ownership of the company, by the way. But still, third match. It was supposed to be me versus Kevin Zander. I've been waiting to get my hands on Kevin Zander for a long time because this man's been saying a whole bunch of stuff. Like, you know, even though got control and everything, I still have unfinished business with that young man. So he comes out, and when me and him about to square up, Nameless comes out of nowhere, and Nameless is upset. I don't even think the amulet was nowhere to be found. Nameless had so much hatred for me, he followed people to the show. So then Xander was like, okay, well, why don't we just jump you? Or why don't you just take both of us? And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll fight. I mean, people know that, like, me and the ARC, we ain't on no, like, phone call friendly basis. I don't know what that alarm is coming off. My son's phone is here. It's going to go off, and I don't feel like looking for it because I'm driving. Anyway, going back into the situation, you know, me and the ARC, we don't have a friendly relationship like, hey, I'm gonna call you or call me. You know, we ain't that cool with each other. You know what I'm saying? We definitely ain't that cool with each other. And, you know, Kenny, you know, being very upset with everything, you know, I literally was, for the most part, by myself. So, anyway, going into that, I was like, okay, well, bet. I'll just fight him by myself. All of a sudden, some music hit, and it's Just Amazing. Now, for you guys who don't know, Just Amazing is also a former C3 Ultimate Wrestling Champion. And the only reason why he's a former is because he had a serious injury because of what Miles Mercer done, putting a bounty on his head, basically. And that's what happened with Just Amazing, was that he was injured. He couldn't even defend it, so he had to vacate. And the day he vacated, that's when D'Angelo still wanted in a battle royal, especially gifted by his father, Mr. Young, C Red at the time. So we haven't seen Just Amazing in a C3 Ultimate Wrestling ring in about 2 years. We haven't seen him in 2 years. So he showed up, and you know, my jaw dropped because I was shocked to even see him because of everything that he's been going on in his life, physical and personal. You know, that's not me to say what's going on and everything like that, right? So with that being said, you know, he shook hands, and, you know, I was like, oh, cool, my brother's here. My brother has returned to basically have my back. Basically, you know, me and Xander started, but then Nameless was trying to get into it and stuff like that, and Xander was trying to calm him down and all of that stuff, and then Xander started making fun of my height. Now, I'm usually the tallest person in matches, but Xander is very, very tall, and he tried to do something. I had to take him out. Eventually shoulder tackles and stuff like that, and then me and Just Amazing, we did a little tag team things because we used to tag together briefly. Then Xander tagged in Nameless, and then Nameless, we know how devastating and how strong and powerful and evil Nameless is, and I let my bro know, and my bro, he tried to do stuff and it just didn't work. Then eventually he took advantage of it and stuff. When I tagged back in, me and Nameless started trading slams and stuff like that, and I ain't gonna lie, I allowed Xander to basically distract me, which is something that I shouldn't do because Nameless is so dangerous. And he cut me off with a spine buster. After that, it was, you know, they would bully. They'd hit side, they do tag moves, they do a whole bunch of dangerous stuff, right? The referee would try to hold Just Amazing back as much as he can because he was trying to call it down the middle, but, you know, a lot of stuff was just messing up and everything like that. And then eventually, when I had the opportunity to take out Xander, I tagged in Just Amazing. Just Amazing did exactly what his name is. He did just amazing things. You know, he even did like a Spanish fly. Usually we see Spanish flies off the top rope. He does his on the ring. He does his on straight canvas, no top rope, nothing. He can do it that way, but he does it the way he does it, and that's why he's called Just Amazing, right? Basically, when he did that to Nameless, Xander took him out with the line. Then I took Xander out with a back suplex, and then I also threw Nameless over the top rope, which he landed on his feet, and he took me out, and we started brawling to the back. Now, all I know is we was fighting, and I don't know exactly where he went. But by the time I went back in, just amazing, he gave Xander a knee, and that was it. 1, 2, 3. And then you guys, when you see the match, you'll see like I did the Alex Pereira pose that he did when he faced his opponent. And that was the end of that. Just amazing. He did his signature backflip. Namath tried to come out and said he wanted some more. Xander held him back, and that was it. That was the end of the show. Now, our standard shows, usually we are usually we're 6 matches, but we cut it in half for 3. 1 because of lack of roster, and 2 also for time restrictions and stuff like that. So we had 3 matches instead of the traditional 6, but this is part of the collection of shows. So talk how Triple H keep black wrestlers from achieving greatness. Oh man, Willie, what's going on, Willie? Let me speak about this real quick. So yeah, it was a great show. Had fun. The residents loved it. Some of the fans loved it. They loved it. Like I said, I was grateful for the wrestlers that came in. So it was definitely a great show. A great way to get ready for February 21st, which is Big Business, BIG Business, named after the C3 Ultimate Wrestling champion, Joseph Ira Credit. So make sure tickets are available now for BIG Business, Big Business. As far as the Triple H thing, Willie, I've made countless videos about my opinions about it. I've also spoken to Yella, one of my homies. I've talked to Arshawn from Critically Drinking. We've talked about these kind of things in a while, and I will say this. At this point, I'm not surprised, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's always his fault and stuff like that. Triple H, I don't think is a great mouthpiece for WWE because I don't think that he knows how to answer questions under pressure. And like I said, the way they've been booking champions in the past and with certain things like that, I don't think that WWE is the great company to show that. I just don't. I think they've done right by Bianca Belair and stuff like that, but honestly, come on, man. I mean, every time there's a black champion that fed to Brock Lesnar, and some people be like, oh, well, go to AEW, and AEW, look, Swerve was a champ. But look at the extent. Like, if we sit down and look at even how Swerve's reign was, right? They gave it to us because the fans wanted it, which was fine. But then when he won it, instead of opening the flagship show like he's supposed to because he's the champion of the show, they let Moxley open it. And because Moxley just won the New Japan World Championship. New Japan's not AEW. He should be opening for shows in New Japan, not AEW. And even how he lost it, losing it to Bryan Danielson because Bryan Danielson was on a retirement tour, and then for only Bryan Danielson to had a stuff for about a month, to lose it to Moxley, who put the belt in a bag so you didn't even see the bag for a long time, quite ridiculous, man. It's definitely quite ridiculous. I don't think on a national level showcases of black champions or is something that's just appreciated, if anything. NXT, some people call it African NXT because it's a lot of black champions. They had a lot of black champions there and stuff like that. Maybe if you want to look at a WWE product that has black champions that showcases them in a decent way, it's probably just NXT. But they have independent shows that are black owned. Some don't. They don't just stay at being a black owned company. Some say it's a family friendly company. That's what I push. But I am black. My wife like that. So I don't think that WWE, let alone dang AEW, is a great company to be like, okay, they're going to do right by a black world champion. Also, very important about that is business, ratings and stuff like that. These people are business, so they're trying to stay being the business. Not saying that a black champion cannot do it, not saying that at all, but these people are going to always find every nook and cranny and excuses for not doing that. So I will say that. This one channel calls them NXBET. Basically, I gotta check out Ashe. Ashe is pretty good. They're pretty solid. They put a lot of their matches online for free. They'll put their stuff for free. And I do think about stuff, and I'll be like, dang, there isn't a lot of black-owned wrestling companies or whatever like that. And like I said, I don't per se lead with that's what we are. But some fans see it and they say, hey, we support and we like what you do. And I'm not going to turn around supporting stuff like that. Because to me, we want opportunities, but we have to make our own opportunities, and we have to work. I'm not trying to be on no pedestal because of my skin color. My skin color can be something that opens up a conversation, and is obviously the first thing that a lot of people will see or whatever like that. But like I said, what we try to do is great wrestling. And if people don't care about that, then they're missing out. But I'm not going to beg you to watch some great wrestling. I'm not going to beg for your eyeballs to watch great wrestling. If you don't see it, you don't see it. But then you may go online and complain about not seeing great wrestling. To each their own. But that's how I feel about that. But yeah, Friday night was great. Tomorrow I may speak more about hitting 1,600 subscribers. Man, there's a lot of stuff I do want to talk about. I want to talk about the 1,600 subscriber mark. I want to talk about Mercedes Moné winning 10 belts. It was other stuff I wanted to talk about. It's so much stuff I want to talk about. I don't know if I'm going to put them all together. I don't know if I'm going to chop them up. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's so many. There's so many topics. I'm forgetting them as soon as I got on live. I may talk about like some of the matches, because I don't think I'm gonna watch all the matches for Crown Jewel. I don't think I'm gonna watch every match. I think I watched the 2 matches I actually wanted to see, and I'll probably look at Tiffany and Stephanie Vaquer, whatever her name is. So you're more of a family friendly, but you know, mostly black talent. I like the DEI talent you bring this time. See, but it's not DEI. See, I don't want to go there. But, you know, these are people that I'm cool with or gave chances to. You get what I'm saying? I do understand what people say when they leave with that. I don't really call it that. I'm cool with a lot of people. People got beef with me. I don't have beef with them. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you mean when you say that kind of stuff. Like the way I put even flyers and posts is people who can show up and are willing to do things, and that's just how it works. You know what I'm saying? You know, I know a lot of people will probably look at something, because I've been wrestling for a long time, and I've seen people get mad at a show like where I used to wrestle at, and it was only just black wrestlers on the flyer, and it was only black wrestlers that was wrestling, and people got mad at that. Oh, you should have this or you should have that. I'm like, what can you do if there's all the people that's available? You know, but when it's the other way around, when it's people that's non-black, nobody's really saying, well, where's the black person or whatever. Nobody's really saying that, because they're like, okay, well, this is what they want to do. This is their company. This is how they promote. Maybe that's who all showed up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that's the thing. Oh yeah, Brutus too. Shout out to Brutus. It's been a while. So still, like, these people, they get opportunities and stuff like that. They get vetted. I've seen them before. I've heard them before. I've seen some of their work before. So I try to make sure that C3 does like some of the great things. Our core is mostly blacks, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that or whatever like that. Hey, you consistently say, hey, I'm available. I'm here for that. You promote the show and all of that stuff. You got a spot with me, regardless of what color you are. But if the majority of it is just what the majority of it is, that's just what it is at the end of the day, for sure. But yeah, Friday night was definitely good. It made me feel great to do it. Like I said, to me, I treat pro wrestling as servitude. So I feel like we have best to serve the community with wrestling to bring a positive light, because there's a lot of negative, and sometimes the negative go more viral than the positive, which is always a problem. So I do think that Friday night was definitely a success, and I'm grateful. And I do hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm about to be up out of here because I'm going to be at the store. This is Chris Classic. Stay home.